Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today for this peer-led session. Um, we will just get started at 1:30 sharp, so that's where we're at right now. Awesome. All right, so um, thank you everyone for joining us today for our peer-led session, which is the second session in our series. And today for our guest speaker, we have Isadora Mok-Kulakova, and she is joining us from the University of Calgary and has been very generous in helping us shape our D2L Academy resource um, on designing customers-led microlearning content. With that, I'll continue a brief introduction and then hand it off to Izzy to continue the conversation. But this peer-led virtual session really highlights the power of community-driven learning by bringing together members who've successfully designed courses in the D2L instance and Brightspace. Through real-world examples and shared experiences, presenters such as Izzy will demonstrate how you can approach engagement, support diverse needs, and encourage knowledge exchange across community. We do have a quick poll that I'll just hit launch on, which really tries to assess who's joined us today and from where. Um, Thank you all for your engagements in the chat. We will definitely be using the chat feature today in the session as well. I'll give it just another couple of seconds before I pass it back to Izzy to continue the conversation and get us started on our session today. As we're seeing the insights come through, we have a lot of instructional designers, trainers join us, and folks are really engaged in the content, tool experience, grades, as well as release conditions. And Izzy, to provide some more context, usually some of these folks really help resolve these questions that they reach for support by referring folks to internal support sites, to a lot to the community site or Brightspace tutorials, and also just meeting with them. So hopefully today's session is going to allow them another avenue to explore and support their faculty. Awesome. All right, I'm going to hit end on the poll, and Izzy, you're off. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you. And hi, everyone. You can call me Izzy. So yeah, I'm from Calgary and hopefully the internet, it's going to be stable, but I have all my backup devices. So the slides here, I'm very happy to share them. They'll have all the links, so don't worry about writing anything down. But yeah, but basically, thank you for the opportunity. And so today, I would say it's kind of like a two-part collaboration with D2L. So for me, part one would have been the creation of a D2L Academy course called I think it's Designing Microlearning Content. And so basically what that was that like for maybe since 2024, I started creating a bunch of videos. Before that, I was still creating videos, but they were more of the technical how-tos, like kind of boring 5-minute long kind of videos showing the like how to do certain things in D2L Brightspace. But since 2024, I started making like shorter videos. They're usually about 2 minutes long. And so in the series right now, I have about 21 videos. And so, yeah, so this course is a little bit about that and the process of how like I created them. So I work at the University of Calgary. So in terms of the context, it's more so a higher ed, and the audience of the course, it's more so for trainers, instructional designers, or support staff, tech support staff who are helping faculty getting used to the Brightspace environment. But hopefully some of the content might still be relevant to instructors. Yeah, so that's a screenshot of what I have in the Did You Know series. So it's a bunch of videos. Hopefully I can keep adding to them. So it's just quick videos for instructors to just like, yeah, get some quick ideas. So that's kind of the background. And so, yeah, I think sharing is caring, but just because I like to share doesn't mean that you would find that information useful. So today, I would say think of this as a donut bar. Take what you want. So if the videos are helpful to you and to your instructors, feel free to share them out, share the URLs. Leave what you don't and come back for seconds if it works. So that could mean going to visit the Designing Microlearning Content D2L Academy course, where I'll just have more examples and just kind of show you my workflow. But if donuts aren't your thing, you do you. That's totally good. And yeah, so and I would maybe appreciate some feedback from you just to let me know, okay, maybe I'm living in my own bubble. I think short videos are useful, but maybe you don't think so, or within your context, you're using something else that's really helpful for instructors. So I would like to get some of that feedback too. Yeah, so thank you. And I'll try to monitor the chat. Not very good at multitasking here. All right, but I'm just going to talk about some challenges that are faced by a lot of faculty members. They don't have time to attend a 90-minute workshop. So in our case, we have like workshop scheduled a couple times a year. So it may not work on on that particular day for them. Sometimes they might just need a 2-minute answer, like right now. And so they can't wait for the workshop. And for us, we get a lot of sessional instructors, so sometimes they're hired last minute. Even if they've used Brightspace before, they might be using like the tool might have been called something else. So we're still calling Dropbox, the assignment feature, the Dropbox. So yeah, sometimes they just don't have that time. And so, and in my support role, I get a lot of repeated questions, especially at the beginning of the semester, end of the semester, where they're asking about how to like put in the quiz settings or how to like set up the gradebook so they're linked to the learning activities. So those kind of things you probably need to spend more time just working through. And so personally, I also find it hard to read long documentations, written instructions. Sometimes having a screenshot would work, but yeah, I personally prefer to have just quick videos where I can get a quick answer. And so in terms of support requests, yeah, sometimes like I said, instructors are hired last minute and maybe just like right before the semester starts. So over the weekend, when our support center is not open, where can they go to for help? And so, yeah, or even lunchtime or beginning of the semester where there are a lot of calls. We don't want instructors to have to wait on the phone to talk to someone. So with all these challenges, hopefully we can find some ways to kind of share that information so they have some resources where they can help themselves, that they can access at a time that's like critical for them. So those are kind of the common challenges. But the real story, I guess, for me is that sometimes it gets a little bit boring where I'm just answering the same questions in emails all the time to the point where I have a folder in my inbox or in my email account where I have canned responses. So every time I get the same question, I just go there, find that email, copy and paste. So that kind of gets boring. And I do the same workshops over and over again. So I get sick of myself talking for 90 minutes all the time. So yeah, I don't want people to have to sit through the whole workshop only to find out that it actually didn't address what they needed at that time. And so sometimes scheduling meetings and calls could be a little bit difficult. You have to like make sure you know how to share your calendar, people know your availability, or you go back and forth just trying to schedule something, especially when it's not on Zoom and they prefer to meet in person. Then you have to make sure that you have a meeting room and all that. And so, yeah, those are kind of my challenges. And I guess I've been in this role for yeah, for many years now. So I'm looking for maybe some creative outlet, something new to do in a role that's typically quite technical. So yeah. All right. So what did I do? To be honest, it started off as like a random shower thought. So I don't know how I came up with the title. Did you know? So, but basically, I just started thinking, okay, I wanted to just start creating videos. So the first one that I created was about the D2L Brightspace community. So basically, nothing really related to pedagogy. I just thought, okay, maybe it's useful for instructors to know about the Brightspace community where they can access resources. We do have our own customized support site or materials, but then if we don't have that, we always often refer instructors to that Brightspace community. And the other thing that I wanted to let them know about is the Pi page, product idea exchange area, where instructors can just submit their own request. Because a lot of times in our role, instructors may come and give us feedback and they said, oh, this tool doesn't really work the way they want. And so instead of us being the middle person trying to express like what they need, we just tell them, go to the community site, submit a Pi request or vote for other people's ideas. So that was one of the first videos. And so I guess over time, I started adding a little bit of pedagogy in there. And a lot of those ideas don't come from me. And I can see my colleagues here, to my colleagues, Ling Yu and Lorelai and Telmo, they're the instructional designers in our unit, in our department. And so they have the actual teaching experience and know instructional design, course design. So I go to them for feedback and they give me ideas. So continue to create those videos. And then eventually I got to a point where I'm like, maybe there is some value to this. And so here's an example. So this is actually a request, an email from an instructor who wanted to do something in Brightspace. And so she said, I wanted to know if there was a way to use D2L as a tool for a journal exercise in one of my larger classes so that students could work directly onto D2L and so that their entries could be date and time stamped to show their process through the assignment, and so that their work might be managed efficiently, allowing my assessment process to be more effective, especially in larger classes with several hundreds of individual submissions. So the other thing she also said was that she didn't want to have to download hundreds of files and upload. And so we kind of chatted, and then I came up with this idea. And initially, I just created a video just specifically for her, screenshots, screen recording of her course, and then how students would use it. But then I'm like, maybe we can just create a more generic video to be shared with other instructors who may want to do something similar, because I don't want to share that video with her student names and things like that. So what I did was that I just used my own sandbox course. And then I had a test student, Rex Osaurus, which is our mascot at the University of Calgary. So he's a test student, so I can kind of show the student view. So I'm going to quickly show you one of my videos. So again, I called it the Digital series, and this one is using the D2L Dropbox for reflective exercises. So this one is about 2.5 minutes long. I'm going to play it in high speed so you kind of get a sense of how that looks like. So give me 1 second here.
Did you know that you can use it?
Oops. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go high speed. And this is one of the, I guess, advantages of using videos, because people have control over like how slowly or how quickly it plays. I'll go time and a half.
D2L Dropbox to encourage reflective practice. For example, you may build an assignment folder to collect weekly reflections from students. Here is one way you can set up the Dropbox so you can efficiently assess the submissions and allow students to reflect on their own learning experience. From the Dropbox page, click New Folder. Give the assignment a title. Communicate your requirements in the instructions field. If you wish, you may adjust the grade, availability, and evaluation settings, or even attach a rubric. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to focus on the submission and completion section. For submission type, select Text Submission. Doing so will allow you and students to view all the reflective entries on one page and assess the progress without having to download and open multiple documents. Ensure the All Submissions Are Kept option is selected for this assignment. Click Save and Close after you have finalized other settings. This is how students would go about submitting the assignment. On the Dropbox page, click on the assignment link. Here it's called Weekly Reflection Assignment. Complete the first entry. If there is a word count requirement, you may click on the 3 dots here to expand the editor window. Then click on this word count icon to do a quick check. Click Submit. Click Yes to confirm. When it is time to submit the next entry, return to the Dropbox page and repeat the same steps. Clicking on View History or returning to the main Dropbox page would allow them to view all submissions, along with the timestamps. This is how it would look like from the instructor's perspective when they evaluate the assignment.
So that was one of the digital videos. And so, yeah. And recently, I got another email from a colleague from the Student Success Center. They have the Academic Turnaround seminar series. And so this is what she wrote in the email. Starting this summer, we would like to have students submit a short reflection. 2 things I would like to do. I would like to avoid a file upload if possible. I'm thinking of a setup where students submit something at the start of their study hall session to indicate their goal for their study hall, and then complete a brief reflection afterward. Essentially a 2-part submission tied to the same activity. Do you have any recommendations for how to best set this up in D2L? And so all I did was I sent the link to this video. And the answer I got back was, this is exactly what I need. And so, yeah, so I guess it was somehow useful, and maybe we can think of other use cases too. So, but yeah, a lot of these ideas just came from just like talking to instructors or instructional designers or our colleagues in IT. And I see Cindy, who's my counterpart in our IT department. So I'm grateful for everyone's collaboration. All right, so in terms of the tools that I've used to create them, so our school, we use Microsoft Office 365 for our emails, and so Copilot chat is kind of included. And so lately I've been using a lot of AI just to get some use cases, because for me, I don't remember what I've learned in university. That was so long ago, and we have about 14 faculty. So I don't think I'm able to kind of learn a topic, spend all that time learning about a topic, a reasonable or realistic topic, to be able to use it as a use case for my Did You Know video. So what I've done was like, I could just go to AI and I'll be like, oh, just give me a use case for, I don't know, a psychology beginners level class at university. So I can just kind of demonstrate something like a feature in D2L Brightspace. So I use AI for that kind of like brainstorming. And then in terms of the recording, I'm lucky enough that I get a license for Camtasia, which allows me to do screen recording and as well as the audio recording, and then it allows me to do some editing. So for me, I usually like just do it in chunks just because I cannot multitask. And then I'm also like lucky enough that the department is willing to pay for a Canva license, so I can create those images and like maybe just like videos that are a little bit more engaging. And it's actually what I'm using for the presentation today, because otherwise I'm not creative. So it will take me a long time to come up with like a PowerPoint presentation. And lastly, in terms of like sharing the videos, I use Yuja Lumina, which is a video hosting platform that we have at the University of Calgary. And so it's kind of, think of it as like a YouTube or Vimeo site where I can just share the URL with other people. So at your institution, if you find any of these videos useful, feel free to refer your instructors to our site. But you can also restrict access. So if you just want it to be seen by people in the community, University of Calgary, we could restrict it so people have to sign in. There are also many different features, like in terms of captioning, or like being able to, like, the viewer is able to kind of download additional resources as like PDFs or PowerPoints. There is the functionality to add those additional resources. And the other thing that I like is the ability to kind of track how many views. For my videos, probably they're seen mostly. I take up all the views probably. But hopefully after today, I'm hoping to go viral. So help me share the links. Jokes aside, so this is the actual impact. So the Did You Know series since 2014, I guess beginning of the year, we've, I've created about 21 of those. And so far it's got 879 views. Again, hopefully after today, it will have more views. All right. And so that's kind of the impact, I guess. And hopefully, some instructors would find it helpful, or maybe if you're an instructional designer, you might find it useful. And I'm looking for ideas for new videos. So if you have any ideas, or if you're getting the same like FAQs all the time, and you want someone to make a video, I am happy to do that. So prior to the session today, we had some questions, and there was one specifically about vocational training. So how do you use like short videos or micro content to do some kind of vocational training? I think it's still possible, maybe not as short as a 2-minute video, although I would have to say that like I learned how to cook by watching, like, I don't know, videos that are less than a minute long on TikTok or Instagram Reels. So I think we can learn a new skill just by watching a short video. Or my husband, he just watches like videos on YouTube on how to fix weird car problems. But anyway, so if you want the learning to be more impactful or meaningful, I think you can add an element of like just allowing the viewers to choose their own adventures, or maybe use some kind of branching scenario element there. So I do have a couple of links. Again, I'm happy to share the links there, but you can allow them to choose their own adventure. This is actually a link to this article on Brightspace community, there's another D2L Academy course where it does mention about using branching scenario. So within D2L, so I'm just going to go back to my slides here. Within D2L, did you know that it has become a phrase? Did you know that you can actually use the survey to build branching questions or branching wizard? So I did a test yesterday and I could have like different questions. So if they answer like, I don't know, true or false or yes or no, if they answer yes, they get to the next question. And within that question, I can embed like a video. So maybe you can have different videos where the viewer gets to make a choice or they get to choose what they want to learn next. And so I have so a couple of links here. So this one here, if we click on it, it shows you how to use the branching wizard or the in D2L. I'm going to go back to this here where it goes to H5P. You can use it as a standalone tool, or right now, because H5P can also be part of the D2L Brightspace package, you could consider using this. So this particular example, I think it was from 2019. So a couple of years ago, they actually had like it's a collaboration between different colleges or universities. So it took a bigger team for them to come up with this video. But I think now with all the tools that we have access to, I think it's easier to create something like this. But basically, if you're thinking of training, maybe you can provide them with like different scenarios. Here, they have a branching scenario of like this nurse who's doing a site visit. And so this kind of I guess, setup would allow the user or the viewer to make some choices in a safe environment. So here you're thinking, like, instead of sending the nurse to the field and making some decisions that might be a little bit risky, you can present different scenarios or videos where they make a choice and you can have some feedback and show them whether, it's a good decision. If not, at least they can it's a safe environment to make another choice or to learn like from their mistake. So that's H5P. And also, if you're using Yuja, you have a video hosting platform. I do have a video here. I was just testing, so not a lot of choices, but this one here is a video where I talk about like you setting up the assignment, and then you get to a point where you get to decide, okay, do I want to learn more about the grade scheme, completion scheme, or do I want to learn more about like rubric or something else? I forgot exactly what the choices were, but at least like the viewer gets to choose like what they want to learn about. And I'm just going to quickly show you how that looks like in Yuja. So there's this one here where I have like different decision points, and then they get to decide, what to look at. So that's kind of the, what I have for you. And let's see. I think that's about it. And I have maybe just like, I'll hand the time back to Asim for the, I guess, the outro question, and and I'll have my contact information. So I'm just getting feedback and suggestions from you if you want to see a new video. So thank you again for being here today, and
Perfect. Thanks so much, Izzy, for sharing with us all the wonderful things that you're doing at University of Calgary, and really great tool to further support faculty, instructional designers at U Calgary as well. I did want to leave the chat open, so everyone, please feel free to use the chat function as you're reflecting on this. But what's one question you hear repeatedly from faculty or the team that you support that you think you could turn into a short video this week? And again, hopefully the course inside D2L Academy made by Izzy is going to help you achieve just that. And again, appreciate your participation.
And maybe while you're putting in the messages, I'll try to answer some of the questions. So how do you decide to do videos versus short written instructions? Sometimes I kind of have both. So in the past, it might be like I'm just starting with written instructions and then I go about like creating a video. But now the good thing about maybe the way I do it is that I might start with the video, and then because Yuja has the capability to do the auto captioning, I could actually download the transcript and do something like, so I can do it backwards. So yeah, I guess, and as much as possible, we try to have more than one type of instructions, just thinking of like Universal Design for Learning, UDL, it would be good for people to have access to that. And there was another question about like, how do I motivate people to watch this? I just shamelessly plug them into places. So on the D2L homepage, we have the important links widget. So I kind of slot that link in if people want to watch it. We also have a new newsletters, mailing list, and then just try to just let people be aware of what's available. Doesn't mean that like they would find it useful, but at least it's there. So thank you. And then that's my contact information if you want to stay connected. Have to say something about my dog. He used to be very small, like it actually fit into that's the same shirt, but now he's like a 14-pound overweight Chihuahua.
Adorable. Izzy, we did have one response in from the outro. So Natalie mentioned that she gets a lot of questions about setting up the gradebook. And she's gotten great feedback on the few videos that they've done. So that's exciting.
Thank you. And I would love to look at your resources because like sharing is caring. Sometimes like we just don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like other institutions have super great resources and I often go to their sites first to look for stuff before creating mine. So thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, if there are no additional questions, we appreciate all of the awesome participation inside the chat. We really enjoy just hearing from everyone where they're coming in from and all the excitement around the resources as you shared. As we're wrapping up this session, when you do hop off, you will get a feedback to the event. Please complete the survey. It really helps us further design better experiences and just overall understand how these sessions contribute to your D2L journey with us. So again, appreciate all of you community members joining us and special shout out to Izzy, who is our customer champion and community spotlight star. Thanks so much, Izzy.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.